Matthew Arscott of the Matthew Arscott Sports Show. Welcome to NFL Talking Points, talking about the AFC West, one of the best divisions in the NFL. We're going to start with the Denver Broncos going in alphabetical order. I have them going 12-5. You have them going 12-5. This team is really good. They went to the AFC Championship last game, and barring last minute Bo Nix injury in the game before against the Bills, I think this team is playing in the Super Bowl. And they've only added pieces. It doesn't feel like they've really lost anything since then. So we both have them winning the division, going 12-5. What do you like about the Broncos?
The thing that I like about the Broncos is this guy right here, right? Jalen Waddle is one of my favorite receivers in the league. He's very entertaining, but not only that, he's extremely talented. And I love that they picked him up this season to give Bo Nix one of those offensive weapons that will help kind of shape this offense into a little bit more of the mold that they want for the next few seasons moving forward. Bo Nix is young. They give him the weapons that he needs. I really like Sean Payton and what he did last year. The Broncos exceeded my expectations. I think Broncos fans should be extremely optimistic as well again about this season. They are in a tough division, but they're in a fun division. As long as they could take care of home games primarily this year, they're at Mile High, where they also have the adjusted altitude. You know, if you want to get into the science of they're ready for it, but others aren't, right? I love the Broncos this year. 12-5 is right where they feel at home for me. And yeah.
I can't be more excited about this Broncos team. If I'm a Broncos fan, they've only improved. And yes, you're in a very difficult division, but if Bo Nix doesn't have any sort of problems from reoccurring issues from the injury, I really think this team's going to look just as good as it did last year. Good enough to, beat the Chiefs, good enough to beat the Chargers, and really beat most of the NFC. They beat the Bills last year in the playoffs. I don't expect them to do much less than that. So let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. This Chiefs team is difficult for me to predict because it feels like they have both underperformed and overperformed. Underperformed in saying they have Travis Kelce, they have Patrick Mahomes, they have Andy Reid, they have, like I said, Patrick Mahomes should get this team to the playoffs every single year. And yet it feels like they've also kind of overperformed because of all the other pieces that are around them just don't seem to quite add up. I don't know what to make of what this wide receiver room is going to be by the time the season starts or halfway through the season, based off of how many wide receivers are no longer on the Chiefs because of an assortment of reasons, right? So what do you make of this Chiefs team? I've got them 11-6. You've got them 12-5.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs lose a lot of their, like you said, receiving room. Hollywood Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles, and we could talk about that in the NFC, how that replaces some guys in the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver room. But losing Hollywood Brown is a hit for this Chiefs offense, but it's not as big as a hit as it is a gain that they pick up Kenneth Walker III, Super Bowl MVP last season for the Seattle Seahawks. I think that Kenneth Walker is an amazing addition to this offense and helps to open up quite a bit of RPO offense that Andy Reid has been amazing at calling the last few seasons. Now you have to worry about two guys in the backfield that can do absolutely anything sporadic. And then Patrick Mahomes can also fling it downfield right before he gets to the line of scrimmage. This Chiefs offense is absolutely lightning and thunder for me this year. I think that they are going to be absolutely awesome. And again, tough division, but I still have them making the playoffs and making a lot of noise with a good 12-5 record.
The run game really has been where this team has lacked the last few years. So I love that you point that out. Like that is going to be a major addition to this offense. Very underrated pickup for me. So, all right. Let's get to the Las Vegas Raiders. They draft Fernando Mendoza. In the offseason, I said, if I were the Raiders, I'd trade away from that first pick up a ton of other picks in this draft and or the next draft, and sign Malik Willis. make this a bridge year with a quarterback that you think you can play with and build up picks for the coming seasons. I know a lot of people disagreed with that take, but that was my take on it. They draft Fernando Mendoza instead. The Dolphins end up getting Malik Willis for their Green Bay South team. The Raiders, outside of Fernando Mendoza, Brock Bowers, a couple small pieces, Ashton Genty, right? Max Crosby on the defensive side. It feels like it's very top heavy with not much below that, but a good place to build off of. What do you like about this Raiders team?
Yeah, so this Raiders team, you're not too far off necessarily with the bridge analogy. They do bring in QB Kirk Cousins there as a veteran. And I assume right now that Kirk Cousins is going to start game one, week one. That being said, I also do not foresee Kirk Cousins staying too long at the helm. And then they're going to have to throw in Fernando Mendoza here after a few weeks, if not just a week or two. That's going to be a tough transition, I think, for him. He's going to handle it well next season, but this year is going to be a rookie year. I mean, we look back at Peyton Manning rookie year. That's kind of what I picture Fernando Mendoza facing this year. I have the Raiders going 2-15. I am very low on their schedule. They play in a very tough division. They play some very tough outside divisional games. That being said, I think that the Raiders are in for a good future, but they're not quite there yet.
This division is brutal. I mean, it's tough, and I mean, I've got them going 4-13. 3 of their 4 wins I have coming after the bye in week 13. Just taking time for Mendoza to get settled into this offense, to get settled into the NFL as a whole. But I think near the end of the season, this Raiders team should be able to start picking it up, getting to figure out what this offense is, what the NFL is, and their over under is 5.5. That does feel high for a team that is missing so many pieces in the middle and bottom of this of the team. So I can't disagree with you too far on your 2-15 prediction based off of not only, like you said, the division, but outside of the division game. They got a tough schedule to play and they don't have a good team, but we'll see what this team can do with Fernando Mendoza and the new coaching staff. That I should mention the new coaching staff. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead with the coaching staff first because it might lead into what I'm going to say.
Yeah. I love the staff that's being built here. I think Tom Brady has done a good job at building this out. I think Brady is building in Fernando Mendoza what he envisions himself being at that time, right? And so I think that this staff will be able to build this organization from here, but it's a bridge year. This isn't a year that they're competing.
One thing I do like about the Raiders, Joseph, is that they have seemingly tried to fix that line that I was a few episodes ago I was pretty low on this offensive line. They bring in Tyler Linderbaum from the Baltimore Ravens 3 years in a row as a Pro Bowler there at center. He's only missed 2 games in 4 seasons. I do think that they bring in a few guys. They have Colton Miller returning. He was out last season in week 4 for a season-ending injury, and him coming back is almost like having a notable addition to the team. So I truly think that the Raiders are kind of resolving some issues at line, but I also don't see them having too many weapons. They have Brock Bowers still there at tight end, but you get one good guy or even 2 good guys on double coverage there for Bowers, and you take that away. I'd love to see Genty have a breakout year this year. I think that Genty last season showed flashes of an amazing potential, but was never able to do so just because of the line. We'll see how that changes this season, and maybe my 2-win prediction is kind of low.
Talking about poor offensive lines, we got to talk about the Chargers. The Chargers last season had a good line and went through so many injuries, so many different changeups throughout the entire season. It just was not sustainable, and with that many different combinations at left tackle, right tackle, left guard, right guard. There's just you cannot run a team that way. So looking at it this season, you've got the new offensive coordinator in Mike McDaniel. I love that. And you still have Justin Herbert, a healthy offensive line, a good defense that I think is only improving. But is it enough? I don't know. This Chargers team always seems to find some way to lose in the most heartbreaking fashion. What do you see in this Chargers team?
I don't like that they lost Keenan Allen, and I don't like that they lost Najee Harris. But I do like that they picked up David Njoku. I'm really excited about him as an addition at tight end. I like Mike McDaniel moving from that head coaching position to the offensive coordinator position. I definitely foresee him as a positive addition to this coaching staff. I have the Chargers making the playoffs, and they are a pretty strong team, in my opinion. 3-bid playoff team here in the AFC West for me, is if I'm correct, if I remember that correctly. That being said, I think that Justin Herbert is just going to be the center of it all, as it is for any team with a decent quarterback. How well can Justin Herbert perform this season? He's been a top 10 quarterback, arguably top 5 quarterback in certain statistical categories over the last 2 seasons. Can he live up to the same standard this year, or is he going to have a little bit of a fall off again in a division where you have the Broncos on the up, the Chiefs on the up, and even arguably the Raiders on the up? It's going to be a tough question to answer for this Chargers team.
And I mean, you and I both have all 3 of these AFC West teams making the playoffs. For me, the big difference really is, can this Chargers team do enough on offense? And one thing to keep that I do want to focus on, Quentin Johnston. He's had issues with drops in the past, but he has all of the pieces. Do not be shocked if Quentin Johnston just goes off this year, especially in that Mike McDaniel offense. We've seen what he was able to do with Tyreek Hill. I am really excited for Quentin Johnston in this Los Angeles Chargers offense. Matthew, do you have anything else on the AFC West for us?
Just that it is, again, rounding it all out, one of the best divisions in football. And I am so excited that we get to see so many good games. We get to see the Chiefs play the Broncos twice. We get to see the Chiefs play the Chargers twice. And we get to see the Chargers play the Broncos twice. And then I guess we get to watch some Vegas games,
And who knows, Vegas could surprise us, and we're looking at this division as some sort of juggernaut. Matthew, thank you so much for coming on NFL Talking Points. Check him out at Matthew Arscott Sports Show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. Also, check him out on Instagram. Thank you, Matthew, for joining the show.
Thanks, Joseph.